Hello everyone. In a landmark ruling delivered by a three-judge bench of Milimani Law Courts yesterday, the High Court decision upheld the constitutional impeachment of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua back in October 2024. In quite a lengthy judgment presented for the better half of the whole afternoon yesterday, a three-judge bench of the Nairobi High Court, led by Justices Eric Ogolla, Anthony Mrima, and the Lady Justice Frida Mugambi, actually took time to analyze the history of Gachagua's impeachment, and the key submissions made by lawyers during the prior case hearing. According to their judgment, the key matters of judicial determination before court were presented and ruled as follows. 1. A determination of whether the Kenyan judiciary actually had the constitutional authority to review an impeachment process, or whether it was inherently a political process outside judicial review. Upon their pronouncement about this matter, the High Court declared their mandate for a full supervisory jurisdiction to scrutinize any impeachment process and identify any procedural flaws whereby the two houses of the bicameral parliament cannot escape a judicial oversight simply because of a legislative dispute that carries a significant political consequence. On the question of whether Gachagua's right to a fair trial was violated, the ruling declared itself very clearly that indeed, Gachagua's constitutional right to a fair hearing was grossly violated by the Senate for refusing to accept a medical adjournment for Gachagua. In their ruling about this particular matter, the High Court ordered the Parliamentary Senate to pay a whopping $50 million as damages, in a remedy to compensate Gachagua's constitutional infraction. The court clearly defined this procedural imbalance as merely a curable irregularity that could not invalidate the final impeachment outcome by the Senate. On the question of whether public participation was conducted meaningfully by the National Assembly, the High Court dismissed Gachagua's challenge, declaring that the public participation framework utilized by Parliament actually met the necessary constitutional thresholds. On the question of whether Gachagua's impeachment process was politically motivated or marred by institutional bias, the ruling upheld to reject the claims of any political bias, ruling them as merely unsubstantiated. In their shocking explanation, the lawmakers were not expected to approach their political processes as blank slates devoid of political opinions. The mere fact that the members supported or either opposed Gachagua's ouster actually did not meet the legal threshold for objective constitutional bias.
Arising from all that we have said, these are the orders that we make. 1. The prayer seeking to quash the resolution of the Senate to impeach His Excellency Gachagua is hereby declined. 2. A declaratory order is hereby issued that His Excellency Gachagua's fair trial rights were infringed when the Senate declined to allow an adjournment in the impeachment proceedings despite his absence. 3. A declaratory order is hereby issued affirming the constitutional necessity for Parliament to enact a dedicated statutory framework governing the impeachment of Deputy President under Article 150 of the Constitution. 4. The Court makes no findings on pension and emoluments. The first petitioner is at liberty to pursue the matter before an appropriate forum. 5. The Court awards constitutional damages of Kenya shillings 50 million to His Excellency Gachagua payable by the Senate to vindicate the Constitution, restore the dignity of the affected party, and deter future violations. 6. Parties shall bear their own costs given the public nature of these proceedings. And lastly, for the avoidance of doubt, any prayer not expressly allowed herein is accordingly disallowed. Before we take leave of this matter, we wish to record our appreciation to all counsel who appeared in these proceedings and all parties for their industry, diligence, and the quality of their submissions. Your collective effort has contributed to the development of constitutional jurisprudence on this subject. We also extend our gratitude to the judiciary staff who worked tirelessly to support the bench in ensuring that this decision, the first of its kind under the Constitution 2010, was rendered in time. Thank you very much.
Among the key issues of determination, Gachagua had also challenged the legality and constitutional powers of a Deputy Chief Justice to impanel a three-judge bench in the absence of the Chief Justice Martha Koome. In their ruling, the court upheld its own impanelment, finding no fault in the administrative actions taken by the Deputy Chief Justice, under Article 165 of the Constitution 2010. In full judgment summary, while Gachagua's argument complained about the impeachment process being a politically motivated witch hunt, the High Court of Milimani pronounced itself on their full judicial role, as strictly evaluating procedural correctness, rather than acting as a political arbiter. The landmark ruling was therefore a final historical verdict delivered by a three-judge bench of Milimani Law Courts, setting up the highest bar as a major judicial precedent to affect impeachment parliamentary processes that could come in future. Thank you and keep on subscribing.